So with that being said, we'll get right to the program. We have Bruce Corris from Market Domination, who I work with very extensively and does a great job for me. I'm really thrilled that he could be here. And do you want to say where else you could be tonight, or?
Yeah, I was invited to the preview party at Morton's tonight.
And he's here with us.
And I'm here with you,
Wow.
because Craig is one of my favorite clients.
So anyway, we have Zack Schneider from 15, and Bruce Pierogies, and he's just owning the west side of Buffalo there. He's getting everything done, so that's a fantastic story. So what I'm going to do, like I said, we'll do a moderated discussion, ask questions if we have them. I'm going to give each of them kind of 2 minutes to talk about, you know, to do their own intro and talk about what they do on a daily basis. So, Bruce, you want to start?
Sure. As Craig mentioned, I'm with Market Domination. We are a direct response marketing company. We're out in Williamsville. By direct response marketing, that means we're not your warm and fuzzy, we'll work with you on your brand, are you a shark, are you a dolphin, that sort of thing. We are all about doing trackable results. And we get them in a variety of ways, whether it's lead generation website, whether it's trackable Facebook ads, whether it's email campaigns, direct mail campaigns. We are doing our current big product right now is podcast and books, where we're getting our clients the guests they need, a podcast that introduces them to a new audience, and then at the end of it they have a book. Basically, you're writing a book without writing a book. Craig has one, and it's turned out quite well. So we're doing a lot of those things. We're doing a lot with video. We've really kicked up the animated video in the last 6 months. I still call them doodle videos. We're doing a lot with that, and we have some other new toys as well. A little bit about my background is I started out as a television journalist. I worked in television news for about 25 years here in Buffalo. I was at Channel 7 back in the day when Channel 7, I like to say when Channel 7 was good. But I was there, moved around the country to Philadelphia, Providence, Miami, St. Louis, Cincinnati, New Orleans, back to Buffalo. Bruce can't hold a job.
What made you come back here?
A job.
Okay.
It's funny, I was actually offered a job in Detroit.
Harry's a political friend of mine. You can tell him who you work for.
Oh, I'll get to that in a second. Okay. So no, I was on the hunt, and I was offered a job in Detroit, and it felt like a bigger Buffalo, and the job didn't feel quite right for me, and then something came along here, and it was Channel 2, and it was the right time to come back to Buffalo, and it was the right time to be at Channel 2. And then my last television job was I was the news director at Channel 49 to build that news department from the ground up when they were doing a startup of the 10 o'clock news. My company said, here's your budget, which was about $3 million, and said, build a newsroom. And we did, and they said, we have a 5-year plan, and 2 years into the 5-year plan, they changed their mind. That was Sinclair, by the way. As some of you who follow politics have heard about Sinclair Broadcasting, and not in a good way. So anyway, so I did that, then was out for a while. I did a website, I did another startup. It was a snarky, sarcastic website called Skunk Post. I used to tell people I'm a double Emmy award-winning journalist, and now I'm working for a website called Skunk Post. God does have a sense of humor. And then I have now been with Market Domination for about 5 years.
Zach?
My day is different every day. No day is ever the same. I put out a lot of fires, do a lot of strategies. I look at numbers most of the time these days. I sit on boards. I started in advertising and marketing when I was at Canisius College. I was about 19 years old when I started my first company because people didn't know what to do with us. So I said, hell with it, I'm just going to hire my class. So I did. I sold my car, moved back in with my parents, and bought a bunch of computers and rented some space. And we started our first company. Grew that until I was about 26 and sold it. And then went to Crowley Webb & Associates, where I spent a year and a half. They made me director of new business development there, and I started their digital department and their interactive department. And then my first hire convinced me to go back out on my own. He had 2 hands, I had 1, so we started 15 fingers. And that's where we started. And that was about 8 years ago now. And in those past 8 years, started with the 2 of us. We slowly grew it to about the size it is now. We have 30 people at the agency, 40 in the field every day. And then we have invested into a clinical research company called Circuit Clinical. We moved into our offices with us recently and spun off a food manufacturer and chain of restaurants. So it's been a fun project to be involved in. We just keep taking risks, and they keep paying off. Not for lack of hard work and effort. So we have been busting our asses for a long time. I joke. I was telling someone earlier, my wife says, I read about you in the paper all the time. Don't you make money? I said, the companies make money. Yeah, they do great. She goes, yes. I said, no, we keep them growing. That's what we do. And that's kind of the misnomer that people think, as you're in the paper and you're doing well and things are growing all the time, that you're making these obscene, sums of money. And, that happens eventually, as things grow, but we just want to see things grow. And I think, Greg and I have paid ourselves the same salary that we started 8 years ago. And we've never taken it out more from the company. And every dollar we make above and beyond that, we build more jobs and more growth and having more people in the space and developing it. It's been a big part of just living modestly and investing in that build. And our employees are incredibly appreciative. We're driving fancy cars and buying mansions. They're like, oh shit, they started the company when they were here all day. One of them jokes around with us and said, I thought you were full of shit until I saw the factory, and I was like, Jesus Christ, when did he do this? And it's, it's that sort of stuff that we're in it for. We want to create sustainable businesses in Buffalo. We want to see people have jobs, come to work, be proud of what they do, and that's really important. So, one day at a time, we keep our heads down and just grind it out. Video is a big part of what the agency does, and a huge service department. In fact, we have built our own studios in every office. So, I'll show you some of the.
By the way, I work for Jack Davis.
That was what I was talking about.
You did look familiar, but
I was his
his
communications and field director. The almost won.
Did you write a book on that?
If he won, we had a book prepared. It's called Campaign Lunacy: How We Got a Crazy Person Elected to Congress. But we never got to do it.
You just changed the name.
Oh, we still could. You're right.
Well, we use campaign.
Yeah.
I still read your book, by the way. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Because I got my story.
So both of you do video for clients, but you also do video for your own companies. And let's talk a little bit about the difference between the approach. And clients obviously send them and get put in a box, and what you usually do. And when you're doing your own video, you kind of do what you want to do with it. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Okay. Well, obviously Zack's videos are far more elaborate than ours. We're not a video studio. Like, we're not a web design firm, but we'll build a website. We do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. We do it well enough that it works for our clients. But when I started with Seth 5 years ago, our videos consisted of someone standing in front of a white screen and talking. And talking, and we did edits, so there would be, and Seth did a lot of them, and they were long videos. Some of them still exist somewhere. But they were that was what marketing was back then. It was, you put someone in front of a white screen and let them talk. And that's what we did. And eventually we did things that were kind of, I created some innovations like add video, and add B-roll, and add graphics, and things like that for videos. But when we do videos for our clients, depending on what they are, like I said, we're doing a lot of animated videos. We put as much effort into theirs as we do for ours. Some of our videos tend to be a little bit longer still because Seth likes to talk about himself, and there's testimonials and things like that. But in terms of how we use them and how our clients use them and the type of videos we produce, other than ours being a little bit longer and we do more for us, obviously, than we do for an individual client, the type of video that we do is pretty much the same, and how we use it is pretty much the same. We put it on our website, we put it on Facebook, we run ads with it, we blast it out to people via email. We use it the exact same way. The only difference is we might spend more money on an ad budget for our own video than our clients are willing to spend for theirs.
We use video in a myriad of ways. We started doing video when we were about 3 years old. I hired an individual who was out of school, was doing a lot of directing for PBS. He was exceptional, and we kind of got into it there, and we did a lot of documentary footage and storytelling about brands to kind of create emotional responses. And then we really wanted to step up our video game because it was growing. It's a lot more adaptable to use in online formats and a lot more versatile than it ever has before across multiple mediums. In fact, we use video and direct mail. So we have screens that open up in autoplay when you open the packages, and it helps tell that brand story in a really neat way. Every video we do is radically different than the past. You know, last week we were helping pitch a whole new manufacturing line for Taco Bell from Riches on like how they can do these crazy fruit shakes, and then like the next day they're animating a pierogi for Ruse internally and like trying to make it into the new character that we're going to roll out as we build our franchise. You know, we do things, so one of the really big assets is the people, right? So the talent that we've been able to acquire and hire is just absurd. One of the guys started a company in New York City called Big Star Entertainment. They did all the work for HBO and Fox News and these huge, I mean, the Lexus LFA commercial where the glass shatters and blows apart. He's our in-house animator. And he just blows my mind from day in and day out. And you know, and then we started presenting it to clients and showing the animatics and just kind of eating the budget at first to be like, look at what we can do. I'll literally do this for free to show you what we can do. And we did it. And you know, that's, you know, we're always big on putting our necks out there. We're risk takers. We use it in pitches. You know, we went in, instead of having it in-house, most agencies don't. And we know that. So when we went into a pitch with Catholic Health against Crowley, where I was director of new business, knowing what they would do, I said, why don't we just go shoot the commercial today? And they looked at me like I had 3 heads, and I said, no, seriously, we should go just shoot this. So we sat down in the morning, we storyboarded it. We called all of our friends and said, hey, this is how we can make it work. We went out and shot it that afternoon. And then we had some guy at the office who was a musician, and he wrote the track. And we compiled it and put it together and presented it the next day and won the pitch. And they cried. We presented to a room of 57 people. It was down to us and one other agency after 3 rounds of levels of cuts, and came down to us and Crowley, which you couldn't get a more underdog firm than myself compared to Crowley at the time.
David and Goliath.
Yeah, right. And it was the true case, and we walked in and people cried. People were emotionally driven by what we presented, and we won the room. Over 87% of the room voted in our favor. You know, you couldn't do that if you didn't have all those capabilities in-house and were willing to take the risks and use video in a way that most agencies would never assume to do. And they said, run the commercial as is, which is also mind-blowing to have a client just go, I love it.
You're waiting for the butt.
You're like, yeah, but you don't like the color blue. It's like, you know. So, I mean, they loved it and they ran it as is, and we did a series more. And it evolved over time, and the campaign was so good, and we did it on such an effective use of capital that the competitors had to spend 4 times the budget on both media and production in order just to catch us. And that's the part where you really are winning for your client, right? So if you can make your top competitor in market have to outspend you by 4 times your budget at budgets that are millions of dollars, you're winning, and you're winning big. In fact, we actually took first place market share in the period when we did that, and now Kaleida has basically copied our brand positioning and come out with the exact same stuff. It was exciting to see them do that, and it was exciting that they've forced their agency to take our position in market, which, you know, resonated so much. You know, we focused on afterlife care, and it's not just the video and the execution of it, but the concept that went along with it. Our creatives are brilliant in their communication techniques. We decided, you know, stop showing commercials about like the latest, greatest technology. No one's in an ambulance on their way to the hospital going, oh my God, I hope they have that new CAT scan machine. You just are gonna assume that they do, right? You know? What you wanna know is that if I go to this hospital and I'm having a heart attack and I'm a grandfather, do I get to see my granddaughter again? And that's the stuff where we just totally blew them out of the water. You know, we just stopped thinking about medical in terms of the technology and the doctors and the doctor-patient relationship. No one goes to the hospital to have a great time. People go to the hospital to know that they can get home. And that's where it really resonated with the board and the positioning. And there's no better client to do that with than Catholic Health. And they allowed us to do that. It was a really exceptional opportunity. And that's just one story of many that we have. You know, what we're doing now with Upstate Milk is great. You know, showing milk and how it fits into your life. I mean, we're getting hit with every combative move that you could from these non-dairy based products. How do you use video and how do you convey messaging in a unique way that gives people a different perspective of how this fits into their lives? Coupled with a team of, you know, 20 or 30 brilliant people in a room thinking it out, you're going to come up with something good. And we just, you know, came up with this, and it's been great. And then you get brands like Pfizer, where you can get fun and funky and do animations and crazy stuff, and people can spread their wings and have a blast. I mean, those are some of the ways that we use it. But it's varied, and it shows up everywhere in different social media.
Well, both of you talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to jump
Yeah,
off
go
on
ahead.
something Zack said. You talked about the fact that you played the video and people cried. And
It's emotional response.
it is, and I know that Craig will be talking about that a little bit later, but the purpose of a video, wherever you're using it, is to get your message across, whatever that message is. And as I said, I used to work in TV news, I was a traditional media guy. And I said, you gotta be on television, you gotta get your commercials in front of the right demographic, and, you know, hope that the people will take an action at it. And I see so many of our clients, when they first come on board, I watch whatever video they have on their website, and it doesn't tell their message. It doesn't have a call to action at the end of it. It's just a story that has no beginning, no middle, and no end. And you need to, however you're using the video, even if it's a 30-second video that you're shooting yourself with your smartphone and posting it on your Facebook page.
Which is okay.
Which is great, nothing wrong with that.
That's
What?
This one is well produced.
Yeah.
And it has a meeting.
And it has a meaning.
Well, let's-
But it has but you want to, the emotion is a real important part of it. When I worked in TV, for years, I was in the minority as a news manager. Because every news director on the planet says, you gotta get me good video. You gotta get me good video, because if we don't have great video, we don't have a great newscast. When's the last time you saw a piece of, well, how many's the last time you watched a newscast? But when's the last time you saw a piece of great video on a newscast? You don't get great video every day. You don't get the memorable shot. You don't get the memorable soundbite. You don't get those things. So how do you do it? Is in your storytelling. And when you do have that memorable piece of video, the once-in-a-lifetime shot that just jumps out, you take advantage of it. But other than that, it's up to you, and your creative people are doing the same thing. It's how you tell the story. And the writing is so critical. It's so critical. It's telling your story and getting your point across. Whatever that emotion is. The emotion can be making someone cry. The emotion can be making someone angry. The emotion can be making someone laugh and chuckle about something.
There's only so many emotions that you can convey through the medium.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things you have to remember too. You pretty much hit the main three,
Yeah.
and then you can mix them up. But that's really like how you have to use it. You know, there's certain things you just can't
Mhm.
elicit out of people using video.
Something's happened today in Buffalo, the funeral for the police diver. I guarantee you, anyone who watches a newscast tonight and watches even the worst story that a local reporter did on that funeral is going to get a lump in their throat, is going to get a tear in their eye. When they see the shot of at the end of the funeral, after everything was done, that his dog went over and put his paw on the casket, you're going to cry. I mean, just thinking about it. So they're going to have the emotion tonight. They're absolutely going to have the emotion. And then it's going to be followed by a story about politics.
Both of you talked about the informative style of video. And you know, for small businesses, you know, a lot of it can be intimidating when you start thinking about video. Either it's intimidating to put yourself on camera, it's also intimidating to think about the dollars you might spend on it. Can you talk a little bit about the value of the whole gamut, you know, from the professional videos that you might pay for to be the center point of your homepage on your website, to the quick snap Facebook thing that you do that you're going to post just to get a message out there quickly? Can you talk about the value of those across the board?
They're all valuable. It depends on you, it depends on your situation, it depends on your needs. If you're starting out, if you're growing a small business, you're not going to spend $50,000 on an elaborate production video and air it on a national broadcast. You're not going to do a Super Bowl commercial, things like that. But, I mean, when you work with Catholic Health, even though you came in at a good price, they're a big client. They have the pockets to do a
They
lot
have a
more
budget,
than
it's in their budgets.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, and we still had a penny pinch.
Yeah.
They wanted 5 pennies.
Mhm.
You know, you're like, well, that's
But if your budget is small, there are ways to do that. Even if it's shooting a video with your phone and asking your kid who's in high school, who's got Final Cut on his own computer, to edit it for you. As long as it's decent quality, as long as you look at it and say, that's okay. I mean, you don't have to hit a home run with it every time out, depending on your needs. If you have a website that's going to be viewed by 20 people a week, that's different than if you've got a website that's being viewed by 100,000 people.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like you're not going to do it because there's so much content being poured out there. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, some of the best content is the commercials. That's sad.
It is.
But it's true.
Especially when it's-
I mean, and you're running against so much content and so much footage, and Netflix and Amazon and everyone's producing and creating content today. How do you do something that's going to stand out? So if you don't have a compelling story, you're not going to. I really don't believe that you should just sit on a white screen and talk at a camera and then cut it down to like a couple seconds. Just no one's going to watch it.
Yeah, but not everyone has a compelling story. Not every business is compelling. Not everything is.
There's a way
If
to
you
make
have
it.
something worth selling,
Yeah.
I know those guys, people sitting here saying, oh, I do this, and that, it's not that compelling, it's not that sexy, it's not Catholic Health, it's not, you know, I saw the dog put the phone, I mean, just that type of imagery where.
dairy milk isn't sexy. You can make it sexy.
You can make it sexy.
You know, because there's people out there who, you know, milk is a necessity. You go to the grocery store, where you put your cereal, you're gonna put milk in, you know? Or you're gonna find a non-dairy product and you're gonna do that. But you gotta find a way to make it, you gotta find a
I
way
think of my breakfast differently now tomorrow morning.
to communicate. And it's who are you talking to? If you're in insurance, you know, we've done spots for, you know, CPAs and lumps and, you know, like how do you make that sexy? There's a way to do that. And you can make it really compelling to a CFO of a manufacturer when you're talking about how stressful his life is and the shit that he has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And all of a sudden you're relating to that individual in their day-to-day life, right? And he opens up this really cool direct mail piece, and he opens it up, and all of a sudden it's talking directly to him, and it's got his name in there. It's like, Jim, hey, we get what you're going for. This is the stuff that we do with Lumps to make your life easier as the CFO of that large manufacturer. And you're talking about the craziness of his day and the shit that he's dealing with, but then all of a sudden you're talking about, hey, we have solutions for this. We have tax incentives that are saving millions. We've been working in the manufacturing space for years, and these are the people that can really help you. All of a sudden you have an audience, and you just made accounting one of the sexiest things in the world to someone who would never have taken a second look at you because you can't get through a secretary.
Your clients have pain points, and you know what those pain points are, and you can address those pain points, whether it's in a letter, whether it's in an email, whether it's they go to your website and there it is right there. Are you sick of this? Are you tired of your business always having to do this? And the guy's like, yeah, that's me. Or there's a video up there that's saying those same things. But if you're saying to your clients, look, I get it, you just said, but the key words in marketing is, I get it, we understand. Another key one is it's not your fault, because you just don't have the right information. No one has given you the right information. They've been lying to you. They've been lying to you and taking your money. We like to say that. But you hit them with, you hit the pain points. Now you've got emotion, because you've got them saying, I'm angry about that. That's what gets me, that's what keeps me up at night. And you're hitting them with that, and then you're presenting solutions and how you present those solutions. And then you get a call to action with a sexy name. You want the consult to have a sexy name. Anyway, but yeah, it's emotion.
So we like to, a lot of times we get into these conversations and you know, it becomes about how do I know the questions to ask? Not only do I not know the answers, but I don't know the questions to ask. You know, a lot of different ways you can tell your message. You've got professional videos, you know, that are done with fancy graphics. You've got the doodle videos that you talked about. You've got, you know, simple to make videos. So for a small business, obviously this is what people hire you for. So I mean, you know, give away the trade secrets. But how, as a small business person, do I even come to you and start asking the right questions?
You know, a lot of times, I don't know videos right for everybody. You know, sometimes people come to me like, I need this website, and you know, I'm like, no, you don't. I really don't. It's very rarely do like, I just, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who's just gonna say, yeah, we'll do it for you. And I'm like, no. That's, you know, if it's not the right fit for you, if it's not the right time, I mean, that's what we're here for. You can come and talk to us and consult it. If you get someone who's honest, they're going to tell you what the right thing is for you. You know, video isn't always the right thing for you. I have people come to me who wanted to do a big media spend, and we're like, whoa. You need PR. You don't need media. You know, your budgets don't accommodate for the breadth of what you're going to get from the impact of spending $1 million. I'd rather see you spend $100,000 and do a really impactful PR campaign, save yourself the rest of the money and put it back into operations. To have an ad guy say that to you when you sit down, people are like, what did that just happen?
That's not
And I'm
what
like,
I
yeah, but the difference is,
We're not at Eric Muller.
yeah, I can say no. Because I don't need, you know, we turn down and change people's minds on a daily basis. Constant work, you know. It's not always a fit for us, and sometimes we're not a fit for them. That's okay. We can point them in the direction of where they are, where a good fit is to get them up and rolling, something cost effective, something that's going to work with their budgets. One of the things that we find is that because we started as an ad agency that created our own clients, we became sustainable. We cover our overhead with our own clients. We own them. The revenue feeds back up. It allows us to say no. It's the #1 issue with all ad agencies, right? If they lose a client, holy shit, we're gonna have to lay off everybody.
Yeah.
We can't keep our talent. We're not gonna keep our doors open. It's a horrible business model. It's about as bad a business model as it gets, because as soon as you finish a project, that's it. What are you going to do to pay everybody? You got to feed your family. You got to feed their family, and you got to feed their family, and you got to feed their family. And at the end of the year, the clock gets reset to 0, and you got to do it again, and you got all this overhead to cover. And I was like, I don't want to go back into advertising. What I want to do is create a sustainable ad agency model that allows us to say no to clients when the opportunity is right, and do the right thing for our clients without fear of them just leaving us tomorrow. And we were able to figure out and maneuver that over 8 years to a model that got us to work. Video works for some people. Sometimes you have a compelling message. Sometimes it's not going to be the right tool for you. It's just a hammer in your toolbox. You got a huge toolbox. What's the right one for the project that you're going to work on?
Good point. I mean, that's part of the evolution of a business. One of the books that I'm currently working on is with a guy whose company is your virtual CFO. That's the practice he's building. He's companies that can't afford a CFO of their own or don't want one, they're hiring him. And he talked exactly about that, what you just talked about, the fact that what's in your pipeline, where is your revenue coming, and are you sustainable? And knowing that you are, You know, it's part of a business growing. I mean, like I said, I've been there all coming up on 5 years. Started the business about 4 years before then. And it's been an evolution you've seen it. You've seen it along the way. Craig's been with us for a couple of years now. And there's bumps in the road. But if you're successful, you're at a point where you can say, I'm not taking this client. We have a new mantra. Our clients they don't have to be high paying. We like them to be all high paying, but they're not all. But they have to be low maintenance. We had a meeting last week and we ran over what our list of former clients that really flaked out on us. I mean, really flaked out. And we don't want that anymore. We don't need that anymore. There's people.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned that the first go around.
Sure.
You know, I was 19, so I just didn't know when to say yes and when to say no. That was probably one of the hardest lessons I learned in business, is when to say no. We have been so lucky to have been granted the clients that we have at the agency because we've said no so many times and waited for that really great fit. Someone who gets us and we get them, who respects us, and there's a mutual respect there, and we care for their business as if it is our own. And they respect the fact that we do that. I mean, that is the idea, and this is just particularly in the service business case. It's not for everyone. I mean, hell, if you want my pierogies, I'll sell them to you. I don't care whether you're a crap restaurant or whoever it is. As long as you pay me, I'll send you pierogies. It's different. It's a manufacturing business. That's a different sort of business model. In the service business, it is relationships, and it is, do you want to work with the other person on the other side of that phone all day long for the next 5 to 10 years? Will you grow together? Will you want to go and have dinner with them? Do you care about who their family is? Do you care about what they do on a daily basis? Because that's what we're doing here. This is not a flash in the pan type scenario. This is not project to project. The relationships that we foster last for years. Most of our clients have been working with us since we started 8 years ago. That's a real important aspect of what we get into. That's what it is.
Well, it's a great answer to the question, because it was, how you determine the type of video, and the answer is, it might be right for you, it might not.
Yeah, and it's a totally case-by-case basis, and it's what's right for you. And you gotta find someone that you can trust and be honest with. No matter who it is, you really have to intimately trust them that they've got your best interest at heart. And they'll tell you whether the video's right for you or not, and what the right format of video is. And they should have a track record. Or you have to trust them enough to be like, we're gonna try something new and different. And there's gonna be hiccups, and there's gonna be issues, and we're gonna work through it together, but you gotta trust they'll get this through. And that's the other piece. I don't think I've ever had a project that goes smoothly, There's always something. I walk into pitches now, and I was like, oh yeah, that last agency was in here to tell you like they're perfect and they've got the perfect process. I was like, you know what? Shit happens. And I'll tell you what's great is when shit happens at midnight and the post office delivers stuff to your trade show that was supposed to go live at 8 o'clock the next morning. My account people are on the phone working with a printer in San Antonio, Texas, getting your stuff delivered there through another means, and it's there at 8 in the morning. That's what you call me for. That's what you pay for. That we're working no matter what on your behalf to make it look good. Because shit's gonna hit the fan at some point, and you're gonna need us. And that's the real point of a service business.
Let me ask you about another thing that you see more and more popular on social media, especially. But if putting yourself on video is intimidating in itself, live video is even more intimidating.
Yeah.
Talk about live video. Why it's important.
Well, first of all, like I said, I work in TV news, so we were doing live all the time, and a lot of news stations will do live for live's sake. And when you're doing live shots, talk about shit happening.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Go on YouTube. It's a blooper.
It's amazing. Can I tell one quick TV live shot health story? Okay. I was working at Channel 7. I was producing the noon show. It was winter time. They were doing the winter festival, whatever it was, in Niagara Square. Danny Neverth was my weatherman at the time. We were going to do the weather live out there. So we get to the tees. He does the tees. We get to the commercial break and suddenly my live shot goes to hell. Where the hell's the live shot? And next thing I know, Danny's on the two-way going, Bob Ween was the engineer. Bob Ween just bumped his head in the truck and he's lying unconscious on the floor and I don't know what he did. I said, get in the car and get back here. I didn't say call an ambulance. I didn't say call 911. I'm thinking about my newscast. So I said, get back here. Now fortunately, Niagara Square is right near where we were, but in the meantime, I'm running out into the studio. Fortunately, I had Clip Smith. Anyone remember Clip Smith? Could do anything. So I grabbed Clip, I said, get out there, Danny may not be back for the weather. So we come out of the break, Larry Sales pitches to Clip, he said, well, I guess Clip is doing, yeah, I'm not sure why. And then you see this news car screeching to a halt behind him, coming around the, comes to a jump, comes to a stop, Danny jumps out and does the weather.
Oh my God.
All out of breath.
That's intense.
Yeah, that's live television. But live video has such
Whatever the guy.
Huh? Well, he's all right. He's all right. I'm picturing him lying in the snowdrift somewhere. But that's a news producer's mentality, by the way. Not thinking of the guy who's unconscious in the live truck, thinking about my newscast. But the reason that that you should do live when you can is because of the immediacy. And yeah, you're going to stumble over a sentence or two, but it's
honest too.
It's the real you. And you're not reading off of a teleprompter, you're talking. I've said to this guy here for 2.5 years, I think, that he's so much better talking than reading. And believe me, I've written great scripts for him, don't get me wrong, because I know how to capture him. But at the same time, he's so much better when it's just Craig talking to people. And live is that. You're just like, this is going on. Look what's happening right now. It can be a cool event. It can just be, you're talking about something that's coming up. You could be doing a live back and forth with someone. It can be a lot of different things. But that's where you're taking a chance. That's where you are really putting yourself out there. And you know what? There's going to be times you're going to stumble and you're going to get off of it. You're going to go, ooh, I didn't like that at all. But if you don't do those, you're never going to get to the ones where you do it and you finish and you go, holy shit, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah. It's like going to a improv show. You know, the band's either meshing and you're jamming out or feeling it or not. That's the risk you take with it. There is an honesty that comes with it. And that's what a lot of video is, I think, is it's so rehearsed, it's so canned, and so formatted to a certain point that people have just learned to, just like any other form of advertising, just to be like desensitized to it. And the general consumer is a lot smarter than you, right? If it's honest and it comes from the heart, you can connect, and there's something to live footage, like you said, that brings you full circle.
So for a small business, you're trying to think about creating the video.
Yeah.
I gotta put it out there. Sending direct mail boxes to talk to you, talking on Facebook, you guys say, how do I wrap my head around a small business? How do I wrap my head around? Got this video, I'm happy with it, I like it. And I'm not asking you because it's different for everybody. Sure. My head around the question.
There's your audience.
Yeah.
Who do you speak to? Where are they? What form of medium is going to reach them? If they're not on Facebook, we'll put it on Facebook. If they're not on YouTube, we'll put it on YouTube. If they're on broadcast news, run a commercial, try and get press out there, try to get some live stuff in. It's really, who are you trying to communicate to?
Yeah, and it really is, we used to joke, when I was at Channel 2 in our first went by, well, there goes another Channel 4 here. We knew that Channel 4 had the older viewers in it. And they had, right?
Yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I see the numbers.
Oh yeah, they're there, they still have it. I mean, we also used to say, we had a promo that ran, Don Postal, if you like him or you love him, we used to walk around and like, Don Postal, if you like him or you know him. But it's knowing where your audience is. When I was at Channel 7, we had the raw numbers. And because we had the big raw numbers, we also had the demos. When I was at Channel 2, we had decent demos, but we didn't have the numbers. Now Channel 2 has better numbers, has good demos. And, you know, but if you're looking to hit older people that are traditional media people, you're gonna hit them with a TV ad. You're gonna hit them with, if they're living in Amherst, you're gonna hit them with an ad in the Amherst Beacon. It depends.
Yeah, that's right.
It depends. It really depends on where they are. If you're looking for someone who's doing everything on this all day, you're going to be on Facebook. You're going to be on YouTube. You're going to be,
Snapchat,
yeah.
Instagram, things like that. You know, if you want to do a demo, Instagram and Facebook are a great place to play, especially in the 50+ category.
Yeah, fastest
Which is
growing demo on
crazy.
Facebook is
I mean,
45+.
you want to speak to women, you know, you're getting into media conversations too. You know, it's no longer about the content of the video and like how it's being produced. This is a media conversation, and we have a whole department that who does this. As
Sure.
you obviously had a team of people selling it to my media department. So, the numbers and the research and the demographics and how intricate and detailed you can get today with the different forms of media that are out there is unlike anything we could have imagined 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, now we have set-top boxes that tell you which kids are watching what in the household and when they're in there as a family, and they're going to serve up commercials on broadcast television specifically to who's watching. And they're watching through Xboxes, and they're watching through PlayStations, and they're watching through Amazon Fires and the Google Home, and there's so many forms of it. What do you choose, when do you choose it, and how do you choose it? It comes from a lot of research and a lot of time. And for a small business, sometimes just walk before you run.
Trial and error.
Trial and error, step out there, see how it responds, don't spend a fortune, dip your toe in the water. You know, don't go spending all your marketing budget on a big TV spot without testing some lower forms of impact first would be my advice.
Yeah,
Just to see how people respond, you know, or you're getting awareness of people coming and talking, and you say, oh, I saw that, it was really great.
It's like on the phone book used to come out,
Yeah.
right? Remember,
Yeah.
we used to know when the phone book came out, because all of a sudden we get phone calls. New phone book came out.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, not
And
like it
it's-
is anymore.
How do you use the media? And now the phone book comes out and they wind up at the corner
Yeah,
of
yeah.
everyone's house,
Yeah.
or they're propping up your door because people have Google. So it's like,
That's a crazy thing called Google.
I worked for Local Edge. That's who did Skunk Post. Local Edge, the
That's
old
right.
talking
That's
phone book
right,
people. And we had people that worked in our marketing department there who didn't have a landline. They worked for the phone book company. They didn't have a home phone.
Right.
Figure.
Still don't have a home.
I don't think I've ever had a home phone.
Yeah, neither have I. I have a home.
In terms of marketing, if you're a small business,
Yeah.
what % of your revenue should be spent?
That is the age-old
Oh,
question, right?
yeah.
Because there's so much free media now, right?
There's only two forms of media. You earn it or you pay for it. When it comes to media, that's the only way you get it. You earn it or you pay for it. And when I say you earn it, you're running PR. So you're running public relations and you're earning it that way. The other way is you're buying it, right? So you're running commercials and you're putting it out there, you're doing sponsorships, you're doing taglines on the news or the weather
Right.
channel and stuff.
If you're lucky, you're you know someone in the media, or someone you know knows someone in the media, and that person gets a call going, hey, I need to talk to someone who does X. You know someone. And I say, yeah, I do. I know Craig. Here's his number. You know, so there's that being the expert, which gets you some free press, but you have to earn that because someone needs to know to refer you to someone.
That's right. And
It's not like
public relations.
the stations, if you just call the station and say, hi, I'm an accountant and I'm really good at this. If you ever need an accountant to talk about taxes, put me in your Rolodex.
No one's gonna
Click.
But if I pressed you for
No.
an answer on a % of revenue,
If you press me for an answer on a % of revenue, what business are you in?
the restaurant business.
This is your place.
So the restaurant business is just as tough as it gets, right? And I had no idea how tough until I started my own and went, totally.
Should have talked to me before you started.
Everybody tells me that, and I say, you know what? Every business is hard, and the restaurant is just another business, right? A lot of people get into the restaurant business because it's a passion they had. They always wanted to entertain. They love the bar. They love to entertain. So if you do things correctly, it should be a very, very small percent of your revenue.
2 or 3?
Less. Yeah. And if you're
I
running.
mean, everything I've read, we've been open 27 years,
Yeah.
right? So I've
You've been
done a lot
open
of.
29 years, Tom.
Like I said, 29. All the reading that I said somewhere between 2 and 3%.
Yeah, and that's what people just throw out there a lot. And the swings vary by industry, and they vary by vertical, and they vary by what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to grow your way out of a problem, sometimes people remodel and then do a huge ad campaign to get the word out and then drive it back in. Yelp tells you a million different things on what you should spend with them, particularly. So, I mean, there's so many for restaurants, and you're also an incredibly competitive market. You got a good location. That's probably the best thing you do for a restaurant. Parking, good location, and really great reviews and food. Should you be advertising? No. I don't think you should. You shouldn't have to. This market is based on word of mouth. If you're seeing things drop off, refresh your decor. You'd be better off spending your money doing that and doing something new, or bringing in a new menu and then letting people know about it, or doing a special that's taken off and trying different things, than you should ever spend on marketing and advertising in the restaurant business, in my opinion. I mean, I don't advertise for Ruse at all. I mean, we have a Facebook page and we post stuff up there, but we're not spending on media. Google, local search, maybe. If you wanted to do, they have these things called express ads, which is specifically for local companies, just for when they're looking for your category and you get people out of town. If you're gonna get traveling people who are like, I need a restaurant here, there, and elsewhere, and it's family friendly, and it's whatever your criteria is, that will help you for people who are unfamiliar and moving to an area and trying to learn about you. Outside of that, I don't necessarily know if advertising is going to, I really don't think you should ever do broadcast. I don't think
Our
you should.
most effective
Yeah.
marketing was constant contact. So for 10 years, we gathered, and
An
for
email.
70 bucks,
Yeah.
I can email out 3,500 email blasts with
Yeah.
a special, right? And it works.
And people come in.
Yeah.
Great. Constant contact. That costs, what, $5 a blast and a penny a recipient. Perfect. That's a
Other than that,
great technique.
some of the other things that we've tried have been unsuccessful, like that perks thing, where you buy 10
Groupon.
Groupon.
You mean the deal covers?
Yeah, all they do is
I'll
go,
never see
people
you
come
again.
in, you'll never see them again. You'll
Never see them again.
Whenever
Local
we meet,
restaurant week.
whenever we meet with a restaurant, and we've done a little bit with restaurants, it hasn't been a big sector of our business, but when we do, and they bring up Groupon, Seth looks at me and says, okay, say it. Groupon people are coupon people.
That's it.
They go from deal to deal
Groupon
to deal,
people
they
are
never come
coupon
back.
people. But
You're not gonna get a habitual, visitor from something
No.
like that. You're gonna get one from the neighborhood and close proximity to where you live, and you have great food, and you appeal to their palate.
and your existing customers. You have customers that have been coming here for years who can refer people to you. Take advantage of that. If you're gonna do anything, you should do referral marketing with your customers. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about
By the way,
restaurants
you're
and going down the restaurant, since we're talking about restaurants and going down the restaurant road, and you own a restaurant, kind of dealing with this a little bit too. Reviews
You're
are.
launching one.
What's that?
And you're launching one.
Yeah, well, not me directly, but I'm the guy on the ground that's got to,
Make
make it happen. You know what I mean?
You're the launcher.
I'm the launcher, yeah. I'm the guy trying to, bang out the message. But all that being said, how critical are reviews with your restaurant? And do you have a system set up to deal with online reviews?
Yeah, so,
I'm sure you take it seriously, one.
response
but
time
you-
has to be within 5 to 10 minutes.
That quickly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so all of our phones, so we have 4 people in our organization who are trusted in order to respond to reviews. and they all have to have their phones set to immediate notification on any of the review channels, whether it's Google reviews, Yelp, and any other source.
TripAdvisor.
So a lot of people ask questions and stuff, and I said I want our response time to be 5 minutes or less.
Holy cow.
So just so you know, like that's generally how we do it. Good reviews, you know, hey, thanks for coming in. Be honest with them. Take the time to write a little note and be like, hey, we'd love to see you back.
Yeah.
Next time, bring your sisters and your family and your friends. And they're like, you're funny. And you're like, yeah, funny for your money.
But then what about?
If it's Facebook, you don't just like the comment, you respond.
Right.
That's
But
right.
obviously, in today's day and age, people are more likely to be critical than complimentary, right? I mean, that's kind of social media in general.
So with Ruse, we knew that when we opened up, we had one shot. That's it. You get one chance to make an impression with people. And it's either a good impression and they come back, or you fucked up.
Mhm.
And if you fuck up, they're never coming back. There's too many other restaurants. And you've got 1 month to do it. That's it. 30 days. You're gonna open up a restaurant, it's gonna be new, people are gonna make an opinion of you, and it's gonna last no matter how good you make it that second month. If you don't knock it out of the park in 30 days, you're screwed.
And they'll tell
We-
100
yeah.
And they'll tell
Yeah.
everybody.
Your
And
one good review isn't gonna tell, they'll tell 3 or 4 or 5 people.
your bad
Your
review
review
will
is
tell
gonna
everyone they
everyone
run
they
into
know.
that day.
Everyone they know.
And
Yep.
they'll just bash you. And it doesn't matter if, so it was of the utmost importance to us that we responded immediately to anybody. You know, we still have a 4.9 rating after a year. And we've had over 400 reviews at our restaurant.
How do you drive them to review?
That's my next
They
question.
do it on their own.
Do you try to push people to review?
No.
You prefer not?
We
What do
just
you-
let them do it.
Just let 'em do it.
People will do it on their own. We threw Yelp parties and stuff like that when we first kicked off. So we knew who the big influencers were in the marketplace. There is a core demo who feel very empowered.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
As
and then-
reviewers you're talking, or as?
Yeah,
or-
of actual restaurant reviews.
Mhm.
And
Self-proclaimed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Let me
self-proclaimed.
guess, is one of them's name Mark?
But they'll do 400 reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, they go out everywhere and
Mhm.
take the time to photograph your food. They'll do everything for you. Foster the relationships with them first. Welcome them in.
Mhm.
Everyone at your restaurant is a reviewer. Your staff better know that. And if they don't, fire their asses and find someone else, because they are the face of everything. Everyone who has an interaction with an employee, if you have a bartender who's like sitting there and talking to his girlfriend for 1 extra minute when they ignore someone who needs their drink filled, you're getting a bad review. If you walk by someone when their plate is empty and their glass is half full, you're getting a bad review. Go into it knowing that. And be respectful of any opinion that someone throws at you. We've had people say, these pierogies suck. They're not close to my grandmother's. I love Mom's. And we respond, we love Mom's too. And you know what? We'll never try and replace your grandmother's. Thank you for coming in and spending the dinner with us. It was an honor to have had you here at our restaurant. All of a sudden, people are like, well, shit. I kind of wanted the fight. You know, like they're looking for, and restaurateurs are notorious to lose their cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've poured their heart and soul into what they do. They've given their entire life. They don't get to see their families. And people don't get it until you do it.
It's personal.
It's personal to
And
them.
they take it personal.
So you write a review on Yelp, and a restaurateur reads it. For instance, there was a really great restaurant that I went to, and I thought it was fantastic. The food was great. Someone wrote a bad review, and he threatened to come there and beat them. And it was like, someone stop him! He's got a great thing going. Just respond with, "I'm so sorry. Is there something that would approach your palate that would be more enticing? What is it that you love that I can make for you next time you visit? And here's a free meal for your inconvenience." You're going to give away a lot of free meals. Just know it. You got 30 days. Who cares if you give away some free meals? It is your advertising. Bring them back in. Give them another shot. Let them give you another shot. You're just going to have to take it on the chin and be as positive and outgoing as you can possibly.
And responsive.
And responsive. Like immediately.
I think
But 5 minutes? That's
Five to
minutes.
10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes
That's
is our response.
really good.
5 to
It's on
10
my phone right
minutes.
now, though.
That's crazy.
Banging
My
out
phone
fast.
will ring, and if I don't see someone respond in 5 to 10 minutes, I'm chewing out some of the things.
Wow.
That's how it works.
Thank you.
It's tough. And then they have a lot of options. They don't have to come back.
And they have more every week. Local restaurant week is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse. It gets people, I mean, I do local restaurant week and I try someplace new. Every time local restaurant week comes around, I go someplace new. And if it's a place I like, that we like, we go back. We don't have to wait for a restaurant. We don't need specials. If we go a place and we like it, we're going back there. That's what we look at local restaurant week for, is to try someplace new and come back to it. And we're batting about, this Robin and I, we're batting about 500 maybe? That's pretty good, which isn't bad, I'll tell you. We were at your place back in January, and we had a nice experience.
Oh, good.
But we can't go back, like, so you know, until January, because our New Year's resolution this year was to only go for an entire year
Without eating the same
without going,
twice.
no, and with only going to places we've never been to before.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yours was the first.
Well, I'm honored.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you had a great experience.
And we're coming back.
We have a really thoughtful and good staff. I mean, Pat works there, and I'll tell you, man, he is on it. He pays attention to everybody, and everyone who goes there comments on how great the service is. We're a fast food restaurant. Everyone says how wonderful the service is. Everyone I talked to when we opened up was, wow. Everyone was so attentive and like there and talked about it. They were energetic about the brand. They talked about what we were doing, the excitement behind it. Everyone was on board. And if they weren't, they didn't stay there another day, another minute. That's just how it is. And it's high turnover. So you got to get passionate people in the door, train them to keep doing it over and over again. And we've had turnover. I mean, I come from an ad agency where I've been working with some of the people since my first company, when I was 19, are still working with me at my agency today. I walk into Ruse and I'm like, who are these new people? I was here yesterday. And it's like new faces. Thank God Pat stuck with us. I mean, and now we have a team who's really like fit in, and you get in a good sense of like, and you're gonna have a lot of turnover your first year.
Sometimes it's almost,
110%.
like, the food and the drink is almost secondary. It's more about the experience of who you're dealing with.
That's why you go out to
You got the biggest asshole serving you,
Exactly.
and you could get a 5-star dinner, but if that asshole's serving you.
Unless that's what you want your brand to be.
Yeah,
If you want to
yeah, if you're dirty
treat
dicks
people
or
like
whatever.
shit when they come
Right.
in, and that's the
That's last
experience
resort or
people
whatever.
are
It's strict, though.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's a cool brand
I
experience.
could build a marketing campaign about that.
It's easy.
And you take all your
There's
Yelp
a video.
reviews and throw them on your shirt and say like, this
I'm
place
proud
sucks,
of
the
it.
people were incredibly mean to me. And you wear that shirt and you own it.
Yeah.
And when people come in, you just treat them like shit. That could be a great model.
That is great.
You know, I think there's something.
You have a lot of people work for you.
You know, and that's kind of the thing, you know.
Shirt's
there's-
gotta be red.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's kind of the.
Welcome to Assholes Restaurant.
yeah,
And it's this where we treat you like an asshole from the time you walk in to the time you leave. You know, it's just like, you know, and own it. You know, that's one way to deal with it, but get
Yeah.
creative with it, you know. But people come for an experience. If it's unique, they enjoy it, whether you treat them good or bad, they know what they're in for and they get what they came for, you're gonna win.
You were asking about a budget, and we had a meeting with another local restaurant a couple weeks ago, and I doubt they're going to be a client with us, because I think what they're looking for is a whole bunch of stuff for very little money, and we're just not going to be able to do it. It's just not going to work. But one of the questions we said is, well, what are you spending now? And every once in a while we'll throw $50 a month at Facebook ads. Okay. Let's see what kind of a proposal we can put together. You know, but that's what they're doing, and it's a local place that's been around for a while, like you. But they're also, we said, are you doing anything with your patrons? Are you doing any follow-ups with are you sending email blasts? Are you doing text messages? Are you doing anything with your patrons that are coming in on a regular basis? He said, no, we should do that. Yeah. But you got ambassadors, you got people.
And people eat with their eyes.
Mhm.
Your photos go a long way. We take one day a month, and we take all of our specials for the month, and we photograph them in the studio, and we have the professional chef plate everything, and we take an entire day and just photograph our menu, and then we use that for promotional stuff during the month. And I'll tell you how many people see it and just go, oh, I saw that online, and I literally stopped my car, and I turned around and came in. Every time we post something, bam, we get like an extra 15 to 20 covers that like within 10 minutes of posting it, you're like, holy shit, they're sitting around waiting to eat. I mean, it is amazing to see that sort of impact, but it is immediate. And they eat with their eyes, and it's proven through the big food corporations we work with, from Riches to Upstate, all the way down to Ruth's Pierogi at the restaurant.
I haven't been on your site. Do you have a video on your site?
We have video playing in the background, just real general with kind of like the process and what's going on and some of the ingredients and the stuff going on at the restaurant. We are right now experimenting with animation in real life settings. So we've got this little pierogi character that we're having die in a lot of fun, exciting ways. So he's always trying to get eaten and get stabbed by a fork. So it's kind of this really exciting, like, magical thing, and we are doing a whole series. So each one is based off of the theme for the special that we're running for that month. And then essentially what we're trying to do is franchise this, so we want to be able to create a catalog of things for a year, and then be able to roll them out over a period of time where they can use them on social media. So we have everything, and we use old movie clips and stuff like that. So we have, you know, the Buffalo Hot Wings, the pierogi in the mirror, talking about, you know, and then slaps the buffalo wing sauce on his face, and he's like, ah! And you like echo out inside. You're outside of Ruth's Pierogi, but it's this funny little. And we gave him a butt, you know, overstuffed his dumplings. So it's, you know, it's very fun. We do things like that. I actually have the test video up there that I can show you. You know, he's like caressing the fork, and he's like riding it around, and like jumps on it, flips in the air, and like sticks into his chest. He's like, oh. But then he gets like this big smile.
Where is it on?
Let me scroll down. But yeah, I mean, it's just silly stuff. I mean, we use video sparingly here and there. We do a lot of, I mean, this is a video that we did just to explain the brand for a cookie company that Rich has just acquired, and we're helping to communicate the story. And they're like, we want to talk about all this stuff. I said, no. Our creative director pulled us aside and said, what you need to do is get the father and the mother in the kitchen just talking about their stories, and we'll capture it. And that's that live interaction where you come out with really good stuff. Here's one that we did just for in animation in between movie sequences. And we just took an old school theater animation and kind of put this in between. So that's the character that we're using. And then we just kind of throw that in there. We throw that between movies during the International Film Fest. Just silly little things. That's right, there's no audio.
There's no audio.
Yeah, that one's not.
So get ready, because the next one's gonna blast.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Tom, did you see that 15's A team? We have an A team here.
There's so much. See, all of these videos too, we do a lot of YouTube pre-roll for Catholic Health on specific questions that people deal with about health concerns. Oh, here's the. So this is, again, no sound. This is just an animatic to test and see how it would play out. So we're doing live sequence stuff. And you see him just kind of, somebody just filmed this in the kitchen to see like how.
Yeah. That's funny.
This is him trying to get stabbed by the fork.
Yeah, so it's just so these are just like fun little things we're playing with to experiment to see how we'll pan out and how people respond to it. Now we have a series of like 80 of those things, and we're going to roll them out over the next 2 years. But our animator can put it together in a series of like a month or so.
That's great.
But it's fun.
By the way, a practical use of a lot of that stuff. I noticed you had the Catholic Health answering questions and stuff.
Yeah.
If you have a website and you have a video on it, it increases time on your site, and it increases your Google rankings. Google likes websites that have Google. That's why did Google buy YouTube? Google likes videos. So if you have a video on your site that plays when people come to the homepage, that auto plays, it's going to increase the time on the site.
And it helps with your organic search if you tag it correctly.
Yeah.
Well, we did the FAQs.
Right, and that was,
The-
you read my mind.
Around the same
Also,
thing.
you put yourself in front of a camera and you give 10 FAQ videos about your company. You talk about, answer a question, you get the top 10 questions that people are asking you, and you put them on an FAQ page on your site. You put the videos up on YouTube, you put it on your site, and you got them there. And you talk about getting them out there. You know what? When you do a new blog post, what do? We do a Facebook post about it. You put something on your Facebook page and say, people are always asking this, here's the answer. Some of them will click, some of them won't, but you put it out there. It's not costing you anything to put a post on your Facebook page that will drive people to your website. Doesn't hurt. It's free.
Yeah. The Catholic health stuff we did, so we started a program called Doctor to Community Events, where the doctor would come and we'd invite people to come and just talk about different topics, whether it's heart disease or whatever it might be, and the doctors are there and they get free counsel and they can ask questions. We found the Q&A sessions were really impactful, so what we ended up doing is taking the doctors afterwards, where we had the most amount of questions and where people got the most excitement during the live events, and then we filmed them. We did about 150 different videos, and then we broke those down by demographical focus and contextual elements on YouTube. So a mother is looking for a new crib, we would feature a series of pregnancy type questions that would be intriguing to parents as pre-roll before those videos, and then we drive them to landing pages specifically about that information and then drive them to a call center. Massive response rate. I mean, you're talking about impact that Catholic Health had never seen, and we got people switching over from Kaleido all the time. So we used it as a really great tool. We're like, these are answering my questions before I even have them. And people are getting involved. And you're also getting men and women, even on the pregnancy one, which was amazing. Like, how to assemble my crib, or like, what do I do about this? And they're asking those questions, trying to find that information on YouTube. We just found it was a really great channel for that particular audience, and that's just what those videos were. Us going through. We do so much brand storytelling, and we use videos so many different ways. I mean, that's just content from the last month. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's hundreds and hundreds of videos. And we produce it there's videos going out 15, 20 a day out of our shop.
I want to give everybody some time to network, so we're gonna wrap up. Did you want to? I got some videos queued for you. Is there any you want to show that had?
Let me show the toilet paper one.
The toilet man?
We're doing a lot with the animated videos now, and we're finding we're using it more or less as a lead generation for us. We get someone to come in and do the toilet mate, do the animated video. We give them a discount, and then they're going to come back for more because they're going to be happy with it. A lot of them are very serious people. We have accountants, we have financial advisors, we have lawyers, we have professional services people, we have B2B, we have B2C, then we have crap. Literally, this is a crap deflector. And this is one that we had fun with. Huh?
Like an explainer?
Yeah. But this is called Toilet Mate. And the voice on this is not a professional announcer, it's the owner of the company.
Have you ever tried to plunge a clogged toilet? It's a dirty, disgusting, and dangerous job. Dr. Oz says a flushing toilet can pollute up to 20 feet away, and those germs can last in the air for up to 3 hours. It's one of the germiest places you encounter daily. It's literally toxic waste. Even if you're just cleaning your toilet and flush away the cleaning products, those toxic chemicals can splash on you and you can inhale the fumes. You could call a plumber and waste $75 to $150 per visit, or even more, because if your toilet is close to the rim, the plumber won't even plunge it. He'll snake it, and that costs more. Plus, you have to pray that they show up, don't stink of cigarettes and body odor, and that Harry doesn't show you his plumber's crack. Toilet Mate to the rescue. The one and only antimicrobial splash shields on the planet. Using Toilet Mate is easy. Simply slide over your plunger handle and then peel and seal around your toilet and plunge away, worry-free, for the first time ever. Even an overflowing toilet is no match for Toilet Mate. In fact, when the wastewater rises and hits the air pocket inside our seal, it boosts the power of your plunger and sends a supercharged blast straight at the clog, transforming your ordinary plunger into a turbo plunger. Just one 6-pack of Toilet Mate could save you $1,000 or more in plumber's visits. No more snake in a drain or seeing Harry's crack. No more toxic waste splashback or dangerous bacteria making you and your family sick. Toilet Mate to the rescue. Get yours now and save money, save time, and protect your family from toxic toilet waste.
You know, that's a longer script than our usual one for an animated video, and it's one we had more fun with. I mean, you don't get to say, you know, plumber's crack very often.
Or show it.
Pardon me?
Or show it.
Yeah.
Or show it either, yeah. So anyway, so yeah, so we're having great success with those. The animated videos we're finding are converting better than our older. We've done some nice videos. It's not like we're doing, you know, epic productions, but we've done some really nice. We use professional announced voice. We use nice video. They're well written because I write most of them. But you know, but they're hitting the high points. They're hitting the low points. They're getting the message across. Are really popping right now.
Yeah, we do a lot, and it's great for content too. I mean, even Bison it. So we have all these different little characters that you can put in the Bison sauce. We're using that all over these too. Actually, the new upstate commercial, which hasn't even been used yet.
Is this the world premiere?
Yeah, you're seeing this first, right here.
Sexy.
Make it sexy. Put it in the home, appeal to women. We had so many storyboards that we did before we presented this one. And this wasn't personally my favorite out of all the storyboards. We had some really good ones that would grab attention. They're a little bit more conservative of a client. So you have to work with them. And if this is what they sell. They have a lot of challenges we're up against in the market. So, gotta get out there and do it.
Well, thank you guys. Can you stick around for a
Yeah.
little bit?
Oh, no,
Does
yeah.
anybody have questions? Really appreciate it, and all of our speakers get a.
Oh, I think
Thank you very much. Thank you. They'll stick around for questions. The bar's still open. There's still food over there, so have network and have fun. And thank you again for doing it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Well, sure.